Hey coin collectors, and welcome to the Big D Coin Channel. This is DC here from DC Coin, doing another video for Big D. And here we are, the 1983 Lincoln 1-cent coins. This is a Philadelphia one on the left here. You can see there's no mint mark for Philly. And then on the right we have a D for Denver. And let's talk about the numbers just starting out. These coins are not rare, are never going to be rare, and they're never going to be worth anything unless you have them in an error version or a fully preserved, probably MS 66, 67, 68 to 70 version. Why not? Well, in 1983 at Philly, they made a bunch of these coins. How many? 7.75 billion. All right, so almost 7.8 billion of these coins were made at Philadelphia Mint in 1983. This coin in this condition is worth 1 cent. How about the Denver Mint? Well, they always make less at Denver. Well, not always, but in this case they did. They only made 6.5 billion at Denver. So between the two of them, we have 14.25 billion of these coins between the Philly and the Denver. So yeah, they're just not going to be worth anything unless, and that's the big unless, because in 1983 there were a bunch of double dyed reverse coins. And so if you can get the double die reverse coin and you want to look at the Philly ones, like here's a Philly right here, and we'll talk about the double die reverse after we go through these. But why don't we start with the Denver Mint then? As I said, they made 6.5 billion of these. This has some really nice coloring on it. 1983, so we're talking about 30, almost 40 years old. In God We Trust, it says above Lincoln. It's Lincoln with his bow tie, Liberty behind him, 1983 under his chin, and a D for the Denver Mint here. And when we look at this coin, we see it has a smooth edge, and when we look at the back, we see it says United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, 1 cent here, FG for Frank Gasparo, who designed these coins. His initials right over here on the right. And there's Lincoln down in the center. Now the double die reverse means this is so-called obverse or front of the coin. A double die reverse, if you're looking for one of those, you tip it to here, and often you can do is tip it up if you have some magnification and see if you have any doubling of the letters. Now, many of these coins, some of you see how this is kind of bent down a little bit. You'll see a lot of these on the 1983 coins. I think just because they made so many, maybe they rushed a little bit putting them through. On some of these coins, the doubling is very, very, very evident. In fact, if you look on USA Coin Book, they have some doubling of the coin, and actually the Lincoln Memorial itself is doubled. You see a couple lines here, and the whole Lincoln Memorial is moved over. That's not on this one. Let's just look through as many of them as we can. Sometimes, you want to look at them good, but you're not really seeing any width or any doubling. You do see the D's way better on this one, and the S is still a little funky. Not really. These S's are just messy though on these coins, aren't they? Look at both S's messy on that one. And I'm not really seeing the doubling here. Maybe a little bit, but not enough to make it of value. Remember, one of the things that you look at on these is not only whether it's doubled, but whether it's in good shape. And so the one on USA Coin Book is worth about $450, but it's in mint shape. It's actually better condition than this. And let's see if we can see anything there. No, not really. Listen, just a couple more, because everybody, look, oh, that's a D, so we're not going to find it. Whenever we find a D, we can just kind of cross them out because it's not going to find it on those ones. This is just some beautiful coloring, and if they'd made less, maybe this coin would be of some value, but not really. Notice this spot here. Remember that in 1982, they went from the old copper pennies to the copper coated zinc. So there's only 2.5% copper in these, and sometimes when they wear out, you get right down to the zinc, and it's not a very pretty coin. All right, I want to look at one more because I want to show you something on it, and that is that this coin right here This is it's a 1983. I don't see any doubling on it, but I want to show you something kind of fun on the front of it, and that is the doubled rim. Now, this is not what they call doubling. In other words, it's not the doubled image, but this is a rim that kind of got doubled. And you see, let's look at some of the other 1983s, and you can see what I mean when I say it got doubled. See, they didn't quite fit the front and the back together, and so you have a little doubling of the rim there. This is worth something, especially to me, because it's kind of fun, but it's also just a little bit of an error there. You see, there shouldn't be any like down space on this, and that's I think that's pretty cool. So if you find one like this, so sometimes what happens is you're looking through these coins and you just notice, hey, wait, this one looks a little weird or a little different. And we put all our other 1983s together and we see that there is a doubled of the rim there. And so that's about all we have out of this 1983s. But save this one because it's a fun one and you don't see it that often. And when we look at the back, we can also notice how close it is to the top here. Let's take another look. See, there's a little bit more spacing here. So when they offset it, you can actually see the ghost of the offset rim there. So this is essentially an offset rim. It's worth something to me, maybe not much to anybody else. Why is it dirty? Well, don't clean them unless you have some professional look at it, because once you clean these coins, they may be of no value at all. So there's our doubled rim front, but we don't have a double die obverse, and we do have plenty of the other ones. So you'll find plenty of 1983s to look for. Good luck looking through them, and make sure you subscribe if you can to the Big D Coin channel, and put any comments you might have in the comments section.